Neil Norman first came on the music scene about 2 years ago with great science fiction hits, a selection of famous TV and movie themes, which was soon followed by the son of great science fiction hits, otherwise known as Part 2. Now Neil brings us music from the 21st century, described as a collection of daring electronic music experiments by gifted futurists of the audio spectrum. That's quite a mouthful, Neil. This is a little bit different from your other genre records. How did you come to produce this particular kind of album?
Well, from being involved in science fiction music, synthesizers and electronic music has always been an integral part of most science fiction films. So I got to meet a lot of the most famous electronic composers from around the world. And I had always kicked around the idea of featuring them all in one album, kind of a sampler of electronic music.
Who are some of the artists? Can you give us a couple of examples?
We have the entire spectrum from the most famous to the most unknown. On the top of the list is Tangerine Dream, that's world famous, and they're from Germany. And we have some friends of mine like Bruce Courtois. He worked on Star Trek, the motion picture, and he also worked on the new Harrison Ford film called Blade Runner.
Oh yeah, we've heard a lot about that. I haven't seen any footage yet though.
Right, so I just got all their tapes in my studio and cut down about 10 albums worth down to one. So I'm very pleased with it, and it's an honor to be able to work on so many.
Now, the criteria you followed in picking these artists, were these artists that you were familiar with, you enjoyed their work?
Some of them were referred to me. Most of them, it was trying to make electronic music commercial, really. So they all have elements of rock and classical music mixed in. And whatever sounded the best, I just kind of cherry-picked their repertoires.
Now, electronic music is sort of a thing of the 20th century. Do you really believe that that will be the music of the 21st century? Or do you think that it'll go off into another area entirely?
The way I look at it, this will be Muzak 50 years from now. This will be old hat by then.
This will be old hat.
Right.
And it'll be something totally different.
Right.
Hey, the most exciting news you brought us, there's going to be a third science fiction hits album, right?
Right, we're working
Tell
on
us
it
what
now.
some of the selections are going to be.
We're going to start recording next week with a gigantic orchestra, about 50 pieces, and it's going to have music from War of the Worlds, which has never been on a record before, and also Lost in Space, that has also never been on a record, and all the favorites like Raiders of the Lost Ark, and a few originals.
That was a couple of compositions by you.
Right, and myself and Les Baxter.
You guys always throw in a couple of, you take some obscure esoteric title of a film, Invasion of the Neptune Men, and you build a whole theme out of that.
Right, exactly.
Very clever way of filling out the album, I must say.
Yeah, I'm really excited because due to the success of the current ones, we have a lot more money to spend, so this was going to be the most ambitious to date.
I look forward to that. And I'll anticipate you to give me a call and let me know when it's out. Hey, they tell me you're working on some kind of a new TV project. Is it top secret, or can you tell us what it's about?
Well, it's going to be very science fiction oriented with a lot of effects and stuff, and it's obviously going to have pretty weird music. And we're going to use all kinds of gimmicks used in B movies from the 50s and horror movies, and have fantastic electronic music. And it'll be kind of halfway like a rock band and halfway like a science fiction movie.
Will this be a network special of some kind, or a syndicated show? Or?
If it turns out well enough, it's all how much interest is generated.
Okay, just a reminder to you fans out there that Neil Norman's latest album, Music from the 21st Century, is now available. So you can add that to your library. Thanks very much, Neil.